Hey everyone, this is Tiffany with Raising House and Home, and I'm outside today going for a walk. It's beautiful out, thank goodness. We're still on our lockdown or stay-at-home orders for the pandemic, and I think we're going into our 4th week or so. But it's nice and warm out here in Maine, and it's a little windy, so I hope that you guys can still hear me and that it doesn't affect the microphone. I can hear the birds. Do you hear them? I'm so grateful that this didn't happen in the winter when there was lots of snow, because it's nice to get outside and get a little break. My boys and husband are enjoying the trail and you know, getting out some of the energy that's going on. So anyway, tonight I am going to make a pork roast. And I wanted to do this video a while ago, and I think now more than ever it's going to be more helpful to us moms and to dads too who are trying to cook and trying to just stretch our dollars, because right now every penny counts. A lot of people are out of work, and you know, there's some uncertain times right now. So I have a pork roast, and I wasn't going to do a pork roast, but I went to the grocery store and that's all they had. So, you know, a lot of us are finding that things that we normally would cook are not in stock. So it's good to start learning some new ways to do things, and maybe they will stick after the pandemic. Maybe we'll enjoy what we're doing and we'll put it into everyday use after. But anyway, so the pork roast I am going to make is going to have 3 to 4 meals out of it, and I'm going to show you how to do that, and it's for our family of 5. So I will show you in this video all 3 of them together, and sometimes I can get 4, but it's kind of a smaller pork roast, so we'll see how it goes. I'm counting on at least 3. So come on in, come on with me for a little walk, and I will show you what I'm going to do. I've got the brown sugar, the water, the garlic in the container, and now we're going to need a 1/2 cup of balsamic vinegar, so there's 1/4, and then another one, there's that, and then we need 4 tablespoons of the soy sauce. So if you hear any screaming, it's because they're playing video games. They get very loud. If you guys have teenage boys, do your teenage boys get that loud when they're playing their video games? 2, 3, and 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. All right. Now, if you don't have the balsamic vinegar, you could just do like a mustard and vinegar sauce with some brown sugar, and that would be fine. Just use what you have. All right, so let's see. So this is our pork roast, and if you can see, I'm just going to get a spoon to mix up our sauce. Okay, it was $9.51. And it is almost 5 pounds of pork. So tonight I'm just going to cut off about this much for this recipe, and then I'm going to keep adding to the video how we use the other portion. So every single night we're going to have pork for a few nights. But trust me, my family doesn't mind. They love pork. So I'm going to get this sliced up, and I will show you how we put it all in the pan, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got this portion cut, and I'm just going to slice it up small, really thin, and see if I need any more for tonight's dinner. I probably won't. I really wish I had a sharper knife, but I do not. So I'm going to make, I mean, they're decent size. They're not super thin. They're a little thick, but it will be enough for our family. So this one, nice and thin. And I'm not going to take them all off. I'm going to leave them like this. And then I'm going to pour the balsamic all over it and on the inside as well. So I think I might just leave that one thick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, maybe I can make that a little bit smaller without cutting my fingers. My oven is preheating. And I'm going to cut this laying flat. I'm not a chef, so I don't have chef skills. I just have mom skills. So I'm going to cut this without cutting my hands, I hope. No one needs an emergency room visit right now, right? I have found myself saying that a lot to the kids. We don't want to go to the emergency room. Stop what you're doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that'll be enough for us. So I'm just going to put this in the pan. I don't know if you guys can see the pan. You can't. Okay. Move this over. There it is. Okay. So I'm going to put this inside here, inside the pan. And I'm going to spread out the pieces. And then I have this mixture. And I'm sorry you guys are seeing my tripod legs. Alright, so this is all mixed. The balsamic vinegar, salt and pepper. I'll put the recipe down below in the description so you can make this. It's so good. Alright, so I'm going to put it inside the little flaps to make sure that they all get in there. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm going to move it over a little bit more. There you go. So I'm opening these up and pouring it in like that. And we like a lot of the sauce because we like to dip it in after. You can half this sauce if you want to, but it does shrink down when it cooks. So there won't be nearly as much. And you can even flip this. Just going to use my knife for a minute to kind of coat it. Just kind of flip it like that. And I know it looks like I probably just dumped all that stuff off, but it still is sticking to it. You just can't see it that well. There. So this will also be covered with one of my cookie sheets. I'm just going to wash my hands. And here's one of my old cookie sheets. We're not going to use any aluminum. We don't want to waste any resources. So here's the way I'm going to cook it beside the potatoes. And this will cook for about a half an hour, 40 minutes. Just double check your temperature before you take it out. Alright, so we're going to slice up the potatoes and slice up some carrots and an onion, and we're going to put it all in the crock pot with the pork. So we're going to make pork roast. So I will get this all sliced up and I will show you what it looks like. Alright, so we're going to do carrots now. I got the potatoes done. So I'm going to slice these. Now for my pork roast, I like to make them in slices and not in, like little circles. I don't know why the kids like it better this way too. I don't think it tastes any different, but they prefer it this way. So it's just the way I've always done it. So I'm just going to slice these up, and then I'm going to take about 3/4 of the rest of this. Yeah, definitely about 3/4 of the rest of this for this crock pot pork roast. And then this part that's left is going to go in another crock pot for our pulled pork sandwiches for another night of dinners. So stand by. I'm going to finish filling up the crock pot and then I'll show you what it looks like. So we're going to get the onion all set up. Peel off the skin. And then we are going to make it smaller. There we go. Alright, so in my family, we do not have many people that like onions. So I have to leave it a little bit big. So what I do is, for something like this, I just half it like that, and then I put it in the crock pot like that. So Now I'm going to get the pork in, and I will be returning. Okay, so here it is in the crock pot. I took out a little piece of the onion to use for our pulled pork, because, you know, we don't want to waste anything right now. And so this is the pork, and I have it on the fat side up. I like to do that so that the fat drips down and it doesn't kind of get dry. The top part doesn't get dry because it's not in the water. So I'm going to do just some salt and pepper. And I added 4 cups of water. You can use chicken broth if you want. I just don't have any right now, so I'm using water. And some salt. And you might want to go back and put more in it later after it's all done. And then I also have some sage, ground sage, that I'm going to put in. About half a teaspoon. And I already put some garlic in. So we're going to put this, let me see, I'm going to put this on low for 8 hours. And then I'll probably make some biscuits with it, but I'll show you when it's all done. Okay, so I'm having to cook these meals tonight with the first meal because this pork expires today. So that's what happens when the grocery stores don't have that much. You just have to buy what you can buy. So I am going to start cooking our pork for pulled pork. We might have that tomorrow night, or we might have the Crockpot pork roast with the potatoes and carrots. I'm not sure yet which one, but let's get this started anyway. Now I do not measure this out. I have my sauce and I don't measure it, so I'm just going to give you an estimate, and this is just how I cook. I very rarely really measure things unless I'm trying a new recipe. So we're going to use ketchup. You can use any tomato product that you have. If you have spaghetti sauce, you can use that. If you have tomato sauce, use that. Tomato juice, use that. So I'm going to say this is probably about 1.5 cups of ketchup. And then I have a little bit of this mustard that I want to use up before I use the new one. So hopefully I get some out. We're trying to use up what we have before we open up the new stuff, which probably was good advice for your whole life, but this pandemic is making it more so. So I would say that's what, half a tablespoon maybe, about a tablespoon of mustard, and of course this is all to taste. I think we finally used up this last little bit. Sorry for that loudness, guys. This is real life. This is what we're doing, using up every last bit. Okay, so I also put in some vinegar, and I don't measure that. What I'm going to do is, there's a little bit more mustard in there. I'm going to pour some of this white vinegar into this bottle. I'm going to say that's about maybe 1/8 cup. Okay, maybe a little less. And I'm just going to give it a shake, because we are going to use vinegar in this recipe anyway, so why not get all the mustard out? And here we go, mustard vinegar. Okay, so then we're going to put in some brown sugar, and again, I am not measuring. I would say about 1/2 cup, if I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. It probably looks like a little bit more because it's fluffy, but if you would pack it down, it would be about 1/2 cup. So we're just going to kind of, excuse me, stir this around. And there's that onion piece that I took from the other meal, because why cut into another onion? And we're just using it for flavor because my family does not like to eat it on its own. So there, that's looking pretty good. And it may be a little bit more mustardy than I like it to, so we'll put a little bit more tomato product in. Okay. Now, salt and pepper. Mostly pepper, not so much salt, guys, because this has salt in it. The ketchup. That's the word I'm looking for, ketchup. And then we'll do some onion powder, even though there's an onion in there. I like to put onion powder in. And I had already put some garlic in, so now you can also put Worcestershire sauce. I think that's how you say it, Worcestershire, if you want to, and it will taste a little bit more like Sloppy Joe's. But this is how I make it to get started. And then I do have a little bit of barbecue sauce, so this is gonna kind of get a little bit watery as the water from the pork cooks out, and I'll probably add a little bit of commercial barbecue sauce to it, but this gives it a good start, this sauce. So we are gonna put this on low for 4 hours, and then I will show you what it looks like when we plate it up. So here is our finished pork with some green beans and our homemade au gratin potatoes, and I have a few green onions growing in a little cup of water, so I sprinkled some on to the au gratin potatoes, and this is a huge hit in this house. So we're gonna eat, and then I will show you our meal for tomorrow night. So it's about 2:30 in the morning, and the meat for my pulled pork has been cooking all evening, and I just got up to shred it and turn off the crock pot, and it shredded really easy with my fork, and look how much is there. It was just a little tiny piece of pork that was left over, and I'm gonna get at least one meal out of this, probably a few extras for lunch as well. And so I'm gonna bag this up as soon as it's cooled off and put it in the fridge until we're ready for our meal. So it's still 2:30ish in the morning, and my pork roast is almost done. So I wanted to show you what it looked like, but I think it might steam up the camera, but let's give it a try here. So that's what it looks like. So that's almost done, and I'm gonna put that in a container as well to put in the fridge as soon as that cools off. And I'm gonna get it plated up for the next 2 nights, so I can actually show you guys what it looks like all together then. So here is the finished product of our potato salad, the coleslaw, the pulled pork, and I added some peas on the side for extra vegetables. This reminds us of summertime, even though it's still April and it's supposed to snow at the end of the week here in Maine. But hopefully we can usher in some sun and all the fun stuff that comes with summer. So here's the other meal that I had. And then tomorrow night, we're going to have the pork roast with the potatoes and carrots, and that will be the end of our video. So I'm gonna go enjoy this, and I'll be back with the other meal. So here is our pork roast with applesauce on top. I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy pork roast with applesauce. I've had that since I was a kid. I don't know where it came from. I haven't really seen it in very many recipes, but it's just how we've eaten it. And then I've got the carrots with butter and parsley and salt and pepper. And then the roasted potatoes, same thing, salt and pepper, parsley, and a little bit of butter. And then we have our little mini biscuit with some butter on top as well. Thank you guys for watching. Please click subscribe below, and if you want to be notified when I put up a new video, click the little bell and YouTube will send you a notification. And I want to let you guys know that I did make it into 4 meals. I made a nice pork fried rice for lunch with some of the leftovers. So I was able to make the 4, thankfully. Thank you guys again, and I'll talk to you soon.